The heart is the seed to infinite love, our devoted toil, and the guidance to the stars. In this story, that very seed was planted by two childhood sweethearts, Marius and Marie. As their love grew, their pecan tree followed and took their home with it. But this didn't matter, because their love revolved around the tree and they made a living off the pecans that they would harvest. Each day Marius would gather them and his lovely wife would make the best pecan pies around. After a long day, Marie would ring her silver bell to call Marius in for dinner. But on one particular stormy night, on his way to the house, he witnessed a lightning bolt sever one of the branches on their beloved tree. Instead of letting the branch rot away, he decided to build a nutcracker to take some stress off Marie's brittle hands. And he called the nutcracker Theo. The trio became a perfect team until time, unfortunately, took its toll. At a combined age of 203, Marius and Marie picked their last pecan. And sadly, Theo's battery faded away with them. But hope was soon restored with the strike of another lightning bolt, this time on the chimney, and like the work of Frankenstein, Theo was brought back to life. Though alive again, he questioned the reason behind it. His loved ones were gone, and he was left alone in this world without purpose. Theo didn't know what to do. Should he abandon his home? Could he depend on lightning to strike the same place twice? Or should he let his battery just fade out into darkness? Well, that question was answered for him by a little elf named Needlenose, who was peeking through the window. When Theo noticed, the elf was startled and fell from the windowsill down into the snow at the bottom of the hill. Theo thought that he couldn't just leave the injured elf there. He had to help him get back home to the North Pole. So he put Needlenose in his drawer, thought back to Marie's books, and decided to follow the North Star. Through the trees Theo ventured, with the fate of Needlenose riding on his rickety old wheels. After coming across a few shy animals, Theo rolled up to something that stopped him in his tracks. It was a clown standing next to a strange carnival game. Despite the hundreds of questions that Theo wanted to ask, he only needed one answered. He knew that he was close to the North Pole, but where should he go from here? Just follow the candy canes, the clown directed. Well, for some reason, the thought of a yellow brick road kept popping up in Theo's head. It must have been from a book that Marius or Marie had read. Before the melancholy thoughts of his creators could consume him any further, he reached a roadblock. A candy cane creature was standing guard over the entrance to the North Pole. Now, Theo wasn't a North Pole resident, so he couldn't pass unless he could help the creature cure his boredom. His guard shifts seemed to drag endlessly. Theo knew that Needlenose couldn't make it home on his own, so he turned back with an idea in mind and explained his situation to the clown. The clown offered Theo the chance to win a prize for the candy cane creature, though at a price. Unfortunately, all that Theo had to offer was Marie's silver bell that he brought from home as a keepsake. The clown explained the rules, gave Theo a dart and said, "Aim for the stars." With a pop of a balloon, Theo was on his way with the candy cane creature's gift. But just when things were looking up, a tree came crashing down. Well, Theo had a job to do, and nothing was going to hold him back. Without wasting another second, Theo dropped off the gift to the candy cane creature and wheeled right on. Once through the tunnel, a wonderful vista came into view: the North Pole. Needlenose was almost home. The North Pole was just down the hill, but before Theo could continue, his lights went out. Theo's battery had died. To his great surprise, Theo woke up days later to the sight of a familiar friend. It was Needlenose, and he was as good as new. He wasn't the only one. Theo was transformed into a shiny new nutcracker. Needlenose and the other elves rebuilt Theo from the wheels up, leaving a heart carved from the wood of his original body, the same pecan wood carved with love by Marius, a token that Theo would treasure forever. Before Theo could thank the elves, he heard a familiar sound coming from outside, a heart-warming tune that Theo knew all too well. Upon tracking down the sound, Theo discovered what it was. Standing next to the big man himself was the most beautiful sight that Theo had ever witnessed. It was another nutcracker named Eve, and coming from the heart in her chest was the lovely music of Marie's silver bell. The love they shared was as if they had known each other for centuries. Together, Theo and Eve would share new friends, a new family, and a new chapter to their never-ending tale of bliss. Always remember, we all have a purpose in this life, a reason to keep striving, a light to search for during the darkest of times, with the ability to spark hope and love in our hearts as strong as a lightning bolt. Some nights may be cloudy, but just take comfort in knowing that the stars still remain. A single seed of love and compassion can last an eternity.